Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others or by fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Machedo is the best.
Well, I don't know how to start this, but I think we'll just get to the point. So my mother has cancer. Cancer of the digestive tract. Interesting. I guess even given that I also have problems with regards to my digestive tract, I think it's inherently in the DNA. So if she has been diagnosed with cancer of the digestive tract, I guess I'll be next. So she has cancer of the digestive tract. She was admitted in hospital, serious condition or something like that. I'm not taking care of her, by the way, just so that you know. So I'm not a good, ideal son. I am not concerned, I'm not bothered, I don't care. My stepbrother, younger one, he is taking the shoulder of responsibility. He is the good son. He is the, for lack of a better word, he is the real man in the family. But for me, no, I'm not going to spend a penny. Evil, no? What a evil guy, man, bastard. So that is mother. And then it seems the stepfather, that son of a bitch, he has dementia. Apparently he can't remember new things, but he remembers the old very well. So my stepbrother is going to go and meet both of them, and he's not sure whether the stepfather, that is his real father, will remember him. I'm glad that he remembers the old memories, because I don't want him to forget what he did to me. I want him to remember it. So if ever I get to rub it on his face, I'll tell him, remember what you did to that small boy who was 7 years old. New memories is okay if he doesn't remember. I want him to remember the old memories. Otherwise, if he forgets that also, then it's like, what the fuck? Come on. So, how do I feel, given that I know that the lady who carried me, Indians have this habit, she carried you for 9 months and all that, which is true. She did carry me for 9 months in her womb. I used to say stomach, belly. It's not actually that. It's a womb. And given that mother is a very sacred term, we should respect the word mother, which is, I'm not saying out of sarcasm or hatred, it's a fact. You must respect the word, the position, the honor of being a mother. Sadly, there are a lot of women nowadays, lots, not only nowadays, there have been women who don't deserve to be a mother, who should not give birth, who should not conceive. Now, my mother is not pure evil. It's not like she's one of those characters in a movie or an extreme evil person. That way, if she was, maybe she would have chopped my body parts and sold it, or sold me to some brothel or something for cash. That way she's not that bad. However, being a mother who did her duties, basic duties she did, food, clothing, shelter. But where being a mother, she kind of failed, and she failed to protect me from my abuser. That was her second husband, who made it a point to violently, absolutely and violently, abuse me at every single moment. So that was something she failed and rather encouraged, because in the Bible it was said that if you spare the rod, something like spare the rod, spoil the child, or something like that. So she made sure the rod was properly used. So I have a lot of bitterness and anger against her. And look, I know for a fact you're going to say, Loy, forgiveness and forgive, man. It's your mother and this. And see, the thing about this forgiveness thing which you guys talk, forgiveness should come from deep within. I'm telling you, I've tried this forgiveness drama, as you call it. And when you forgive and it becomes an emotional thing, and then you cry, oh, I've forgiven, and you think you'll forget. The fact of the matter is, if it doesn't come from within, you just go through the motions of, okay, I forgive, yay, I forgive. And then you cry, then you hug. But then that memory lingers on, those feelings linger on. And it's very hard to let go of those feelings, man. Just imagine, okay, see, to give you a context, before, I go further, just imagine a 7-year-old boy. Okay, I want you to visualize, 7-year-old boy in front of you. Just imagine that you're looking at the 7-year-old boy, and there is a man, 30, 40-year-old, taking a rubber bamboo cane, okay, and whacking the bejesus out of this boy, small boy, 7-year-old. He is no bigger than, he is not taller than your waist. Okay, that height. Whacking and hitting and violently on his back, on his legs, on his hands, on his face, whacking non-stop for 45 minutes to 90 minutes. Non-stop. Okay, in front of you. Now here's my question. Do you have the stomach to watch that? I'm asking you, do you have the stomach to watch that? Can you stomach that? If you are a normal human being, if someone had done that to an animal, any normal person would have jumped and stopped it. Normal person. Sadly, not my mother. Well, was she watching that show? She was not watching the show, but she knew what was happening. And I still remember the marks on my body. After you get backed with a rubberized cane, there is that mark on your body, nice little mark, where the skin swells up and there's blood clot on that area of impact. Becomes like white. It's a very strange thing, white, huh? Then become blood red and becomes a scar. Now, many of my haters who are there, they're very happy to say, oh, I'm so glad, ha ha ha, good, you deserve it. Like as if it's going to pain me. Oh, how dare you, oh, you're hurting my feelings. Arey Baba, if you feel like laughing, laugh. If you feel that I deserved it, good. But I'm not looking at Loy Machedo as the person who got it. I'm looking at a child. And when I see and think and imagine and feel a child, some small child getting beaten that way, my blood boils. And had anyone done that to my child, or any child, I would have gone all out of the way to make sure this person is destroyed. And if it was done to my child, maybe I would even pay someone to sort this guy out permanently. I mean, how can you tolerate injustice of such violent means, that too targeted at an innocent little child? Yeah, I know there are a lot of people who hate me and who enjoy, so if something bad happens to me, that's perfectly fine. But here I'm not asking you to sympathize with me or understand me. I'm asking you, if that happened to a child, would you keep quiet? And I know for an answer, no sane human being, no human being with an iota of, forget decency, with a heart, would have allowed that. So, those memories have not only been etched in my mind and heart and my being, I've never forgotten them. Still remember it. And every time I try to forget, every time I try to patch up, the problem with these two people, the stepfather and mother of mine, no matter how many times I try to patch up, they were still shamelessly, like, I don't know whether to use the word, like, the bastards that they were absolute shameless bastards. My mother's obsession about money, anytime I would reach out to her, she would only ask money. She doesn't care about anything else. She'd only ask about money. Oh, I don't have money, give me money. And it's not like in a polite way, it's like she demands it. Why? Because she carried me for 9 months in her womb and she looked after me. I want paisa vasool. Come on, I gave you all that money, I looked after you, I want the money back. That kind of attitude. And the stepfather he's a type who, he's a short piddly fuck. He looks up like this, like he's superior of some kind. You know, there are not many people who can get my blood boiling. He can. Just by his attitude and body language. I really wish I was some MMA fighter or someone. Oh, I would love to beat the hell out of him, man. I would want to inflict so much of physical pain on him. Because he was a child abuser. So now, given I have all these memories, which kind of remind me, I'm telling you, how many times I tried to patch up with him, how many times. Even after I got married here, my wife and my baby, still they're shameless. Like when I put on the video camera and showed my wife, my mother, what's your name? What are you doing? Then she'll ask me, what is she, Hindu, Christian, Muslim? Why she's like that? What is this? And then she would comment about her looks. Typical Indian mentality. And stepfather, not even an iota of politeness towards my wife. You just look at her. Okay. Like, who the fuck are you, man? And same thing with my child when I showed my. So I was like, why am I? It's like disrespecting me and them. Why am I allowing shit to be thrown on my face for what? When someone is taking my kindness for weakness, why should I tolerate these human beings? Just because, by virtue of designation, mother and stepfather? And remember, this is the very same woman and very same man whom, when I was going to commit suicide, and I reached out to them and called them and said, please help me. I had no money to eat food, no money to buy water to drink, no place to stay. And they were my only hope, and I called them, please help me. And the best part is the climax. If you can see my YouTube video where I put Loy Machedo suicide. It's restricted unless you're 18 years plus, you can't see it. I mean, I'm telling them I'm going to suicide. I need their help. I want to kill myself. And Pinto, that's his name, stepfather, He's telling me, ask permission from my younger brother. He's saying, I don't know. And he gives it to Helen, because anyway he's a coward. So my mother had the balls in the house now. So she was like, yes, lovey. Okay. I don't know. You have to ask Leslie for permission, my younger brother. He was not involved in the whole shit. And then they put the phone down. Click. And if it ended there, fine. They didn't stop there. What my mother and stepfather proceeded to do was, every relative in India, there was one in Mumbai and one in, I think, somewhere in Mangalore or something, which anyway I was not going there. She proceeded to call them and tell them, don't help Loy, don't take him in, he'll do this, he'll do that. They just absolutely brainwashed everyone and made even those who are ready to help me, they made them against me. Can you imagine that? So deep was, so black was their heart, that they made sure that even those who wanted to help me were convinced not to. Because how I know this? Because after I called this, when I called my so-called godfather and godmother for help, first they said yes. But after apparently my mother and stepfather spoke to them, this guy is the godfather who always was good terms with me. He's calling me son of a bitch, you bastard. You think you can take advantage? He was a little drunk. You can take advantage. Get the fuck out of my this thing and this. It's like, why are you shouting? I'm talking to you nicely. I just asked you for help. You can tell me no. So I'm supposed to feel sorry for this woman and this man. Interesting. Now, I'm not going to gloat over it and ha, and that's not my style, man. When someone is down, you don't kick them down. When they're down, it's they are calling, they are doing. I'm not going to gloat over it. I'm not going to have a party or jump with joy and all that. I remember there was a movie where this actress, Judi Dench or something, what is her name? Oscar award-winning actress who acted in James Bond as at Madam Q or something. She was in this movie where she took her father's ashes, cremated, they cremated him. So she took his ashes, she put it in a toilet and she urinated on top of it. Why? Because her father, when she was small, as in that movie, he had raped her multiple times throughout her childhood. Yeah, that would be nice to do it on my stepfather's grave. Just urinate. And anyway, I have better things to do in life. I'll not do that to my mother's grave, although I wouldn't feel anything. So the point I'm saying is I don't feel hatred towards them. Like, like, you got what you deserve. I'm not going to do that. But at the same time, I'm not going to be like, oh, I feel sorry and I'm going to cry or wish you well or pray for you. It's like, for example, to give you the exact feelings that I have, is like, let's say someone tells you, Charles D'Souza has cancer. And you'll be like, who's Charles D'Souza? No, that one guy. Okay, Charles D'Souza has cancer. I don't know who's Charles. So that's exactly my feeling. So she has cancer. She went to the ICU. She's become frail and thin. I just would say too bad. Focus on sorting yourself out. That's what I would have said. But given that we don't have good relations, I wouldn't even bother saying that. It seems she wants to talk to me and, the typical old age bullshit. I want to talk to my son, I want to talk to my daughter-in-law, and I want to talk to my granddaughter. When old age comes and you feel weak, you start becoming humble. Like, for example, the best example I can give you is, World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE. Shawn Michaels is a wrestler. When he was young, he was so cocky, so horrible. He was young, he was unbelievably son of a bitch. Like, he would just want to destroy your life if he knew that you were a professional competitor to him. But today, after 30 years or 40 years of what he was, today is like, his retina is detached, so his eyes are kind of squinty and he's frail and nothing like what he was, with a lot of injuries. And he still works with WWE, but he's a very humble guy. He's God-fearing. He became a born-again, converted to Christianity, and doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't go with girls, because he went through a very dark phase in his life. But that doesn't mean just because you went through it, you can erase the past. Even I've done bad things. I'm also, just like you, me, everyone, I'm also no saint. And do I expect to be forgiven by those I did bad things to? No, of course not. I don't expect, and I personally say I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Are there people I do feel bad about and I regret? Yes, I've told you. That girl who, my first so-called love. But I'm not going to sit and wallow in self-pity and regret. Life is too fucking short, man. Shit happened, I did it, move on. So the same thing with this woman and this man. Move the fuck on. But don't expect to be in my good books, or me to understand, or me to talk about you fondly, or say nice things about you. That I'm not going to do, man. No way. Why? It's as simple as, you fucked up, okay? Don't forget, you fucked up. So why should I be understanding? To this date, they have not apologized for what they did. To this date, that Pinto, son of a bitch, he doesn't have, his own mother used to tell him, why are you beating this poor boy? His mother, Teresa Pinto, I have a soft corner in my heart for her. She used to always tell him, why are you beating this poor boy? She was an understanding woman. This son of a bitch was. Even my own, my mother's mother, grandmother, she used to also partake in beating me up. So, and she died. I didn't feel anything. She died. A good riddance to bad rubbish is what I said. I don't know if I put up a video stating that. Now about my mother, I finished my crying for years and years, yearning for her love, yearning for her appreciation, hoping that things would patch up. I've tried taking them out, going for movies, going for eating food. I even told, when I introduced a girl whose face I tattooed here, when I brought them to my mother and father, what my mother did, grabbed her, took her to the room. I thought she was going to, like Indian tradition, talk to her about something nice. When she took her to the room, because she was so beautiful and attractive, my mother literally, I told when after she finished, when she came out, her face was sullen and down, and we ate food. And then when I took my girlfriend and went back down in the car, I said, the first thing I said, like, I didn't notice that she was sad. She just turned around and she asked me, does your mother really love you? I was like, why the fuck are you saying that? She's like, no, seriously, Loy, does your mother seriously love you? I was like, yeah, she does. And then from her pocket, she took out the photograph of my younger brother. And I was like, what the fuck is my younger brother's photograph doing in your pocket? From where did you get it? Saying, when your mother took me to the room, like, I thought she was going to tell me about you and talk about the marriage. She told me, don't go for this guy. He's a playboy. He sleeps around. He has many women. You marry my younger son. He's a much better boy, and all my property, everything will be for him, not Loy. So anyway, you don't think about it. Keep this photo with you. But Loy, I'm telling you, is not good. Leslie is better. We will take care of you if you marry Leslie. That's kind of paraphrasing. That's what she was told. And she gave her the photograph. And she told, she gave her number and all that to get in touch with her. So she'll introduce my younger brother. Thankfully, my brother was not interested in that. But I'm giving you the mentality. My stepbrother had access to my mother's bank account. They would keep, like when they would put money in the bank account, my brother would be near the ATM. My mother would tell me, stand back, go far. And she would allow my brother to put the passcode, but not me. I shouldn't know also. I was to wonder, like, why, what the fuck is, what's this? Like, they didn't have money to sponsor my education, that's what they told me. But begrudgingly, they sent me to India. But for my brother, they sent him to Australia to do his pilot license. So what I'm trying to tell you is I was looked upon as a liability. And if you follow my old videos, you would know that I was made to sleep on the floor in the hall room. My brother was made to sleep with them in the bedroom. So why this differentiation, man? Why? What did this small boy, what did he do? That you had to make him sleep in the hall room on the floor, but the other one sleep with you in the bedroom. And he would get almonds, cashews, nuts, this, that, all the expensive good stuff to eat. And they would keep it hidden in the room away from me. Why? Because apparently this boy, Loy, would eat too much. He would eat everything. That's how they treated me, man. If I'd ask them for books, even books, huh? They would say no money. Chocolates, no money. Anything, no money. But stepbrother, there was money. So I was the unwanted mistake. And they let me know it. They let me feel it. And they rubbed it on my face when I was a small boy. So obviously when I grow big, what do you want me to do? Hug them, kiss them, and feel, oh, my mother, father, what? You abused even my dog. If one person is, like, even shows rudeness, the dog never forgets. And me as a human being, you expect me to forget and give them a hug and tell them all is okay? Come on, man. Get real. So yeah. I don't know how long she's going to live, or whether she will live. I don't know, don't care, and not bothered. If she lives, fine, she lives. She dies, she dies. Although my preference would be she die first, so that stepfather stays alive. I want him to stay for long and suffer, and that would be nice. Although, sadly, given that he has dementia, he wouldn't know what is happening. So if he would die first, and my mother, I guess, maybe she would feel more lonely. My preference is she die first. Let him stay alone. That'll be fun. Let him enjoy being alone. Soul. So yeah, this is the news. One has cancer, one has dementia. Pretty sure I have that DNA. So cancer is also there, present somewhere. So I have to be careful with my diet. Otherwise, my haters will say, ha ha ha, you also got cancer, karma, all that shit. And yeah, for my haters, those who are there, who feel a sense of joy, that, you deserve it. After all, sick person, go ahead, put, yeah. Please put. Feel light. No, seriously, put. Maybe it makes your heart feel lightened and you feel like you have achieved something by communicating. I'm so glad that at least you're honest enough to tell me your feelings. I appreciate that. Rather than being a snake in the grass. It's good to know, identify. Although you're doing it anonymously, I know that's the part. I can't blame you for not having balls and having the courage to be, to show your real identity. That's a fact. I'm not saying this to get back at you. It takes courage to be a man and show your true self and talk, which most of you, your upbringing, your parents, your values, not thought. That's why for me, if I say something, what I say in front of you, I'll say behind you. And that's something I've disciplined and taught myself, and I choose to be the type of guy that way. So yeah, anyway, what I wanted to share with you guys. I'm sure many of you will have an opinion, which I totally welcome. You don't have to agree with me. You can say whatever you feel like down in the comments. But life goes on. One day it'll be us, me, you. We'll all become old. We'll all have some health issue, cancer, tumor, dementia, this, that, blah, blah. Some funda we'll have. And then we'll go to the grave. Dead. Finish. Game over. The end. So, like they say, enjoy until stocks last. Enjoy until it's your time and my time. Until then, just go with the flow, man. I just don't have any sympathy or understanding or empathy, whatever, for people who abuse children. That's why with my daughter, even if I'm not a good father, which I don't, personally speaking, I would not say I am. I try to do my best of not being at least like him, which is too far extreme. So, if not do good, at least don't do bad like this, Okay, you don't want to do good, don't do bad, no? So that's as far as I would say. And if you're a parent, please, my request to you, not just food, clothing, shelter. Don't just limit yourself to that. Remember, you brought a child into this world. You have certain responsibilities and duties of mentoring, managing, guiding the child. Sadly, given the number of losers that are there on this planet, and we can see enough and more of them on social media, I'm telling you, it's a very, very serious problem. Really bad upbringing. We can see it. Just see how people behave online. It's a plague, it's a pandemic, it's like something like COVID. Terrible. Anyway, I know one thing, I can't change the world. I can only focus on me, right? I can only focus on what I do. So that's all I do. Focus on what I can do and focus on who I can make the difference. That's it. Rest, just leave it as it is. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share. Let me know your thoughts. Feel free, comment freely. Let me know how many of you feel happy. Go ahead, man, go ahead. Either YouTube will, censor your this thing or mark you as a spammer or potentially flag your comment. For me, go ahead. And some of you can put wrong spelling just to make sure that I read it. Feel happy, go ahead. If at 47 years of age, I still get affected by an opinion of a nothing and nobody, have a lot of growing up to do. Anyway, so let's conclude. Helen has cancer, digestive cancer. Pinto has dementia. Okay. What else to say? All right. You guys take care. This is me signing off.